Hi guys, welcome back to ladensercrotchets. In this tutorial we're going to be making this top. It's a corset top, a very simple two-tone corset top that I hope you're going to enjoy making, and it's a very simple pattern. You're going to be done in no time. So kindly subscribe if you're not subscribed and join the family, and let's get into the tutorial. I'll be working with medium weight yarn in these two shades of blue. The yarn that I'm using is Winter King, which is available in Kenya. Then I'll be using a 3.5 millimeter crochet hook, and then you'll need a pair of scissors, stitch markers, a measuring tape, and you're also going to need a tapestry needle, this one right here, for weaving the ends. I'll be working two separate identical panels like this one that I've already done, and the beginning part is this part right here, which is the cap. And to be able to work this cap, you need your bust measurement divided by 4. So like if I were to measure my cap right here, without stretching, it goes up to 7. But because there is always an allowance for stretch, when I stretch these out, it will go up to 9 inches. And so that means my bust measurement is 36. 36 by 4 is 9. So get that measurement, the bust measurement, and divide this by 4. Begin with a slip knot. Then chain 4. Free chain 1, 2, 3, and 4. So chain 4 if you're a size small to medium, chain 6 if you're a size large, chain 8 if you're a size extra large. So I'm starting with a chain 4, and then I'm going to hold the last chain and chain 1 more to get to 5. Then yarn over, put my hook into that chain that I'm holding, and yarn over and grab a loop to get 3 loops on the hook. Then yarn over and pull through all the 3 to complete a half double crochet. That is 1, yarn over, go into the next chain, yarn over, grab a loop. Then yarn over, pull through all the 3 loops to get the second half double crochet. And then we're going to work the third half double crochet. And lastly, the 4th. So those are 4 half double crochets in row 1, chain 1, and turn to begin row 2. In row 2, we're going to increase at the beginning and at the end. So that means we had 4 half double crochets. By the end of row 2, we should have 6. So that means yarn over, go into the first stitch, place a half double crochet, yarn over, go into the same stitch, same stitch, and do another half double crochet. That is the first increase at the beginning. Then we'll do an increase at the end. So the stitches that are in the middle will get 1 half double crochet each, 1 and 2. Then the last stitch, which is this one right here, will get 2 half double crochets, 1 and 2. Row 2 is done with 6 half double crochets, chain 1 and turn. In row 3, we just work 1 stitch in every stitch. So we're going to place 1 half double crochet in the first stitch and a half double crochet into all the stitches for a total of 6 stitches. Row 4 is going to be an increase row. So we start with an increase and end with an increase. So chain 1 and turn to begin row 4. Begin in the first stitch with 2 half double crochets in that stitch. Then place 1 stitch into each of the middle stitches. So those are 2. We're going to have 3, 4, 5, and 6. Then the last stitch will get 2 half double crochets, which will make a total of 8. So 1 and 2. That's row 4, chain 1, and turn to begin row 5. We do not increase in row 5, so each of the stitches is going to have 1 half double crochet. So 1 half double crochet into every stitch for a total of 8. That's row 5 done. We begin row 6 with an increase and end with a decrease. So chain 1 and turn to begin row 6. Begin in the first stitch and place 2 half double crochets. All the middle stitches will each get 1 half double crochet. So that will be 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Then in the last stitch we place 2, so that we have our 9th and 10th stitch. We're done with row 6. Begin row 7, chain 1 and turn. Row 7, there is no increase, so just 1 stitch for a total of 10. That's row 7 done. Chain 1 and turn to begin row 8. We increase in row 9, in row 8. So I'm going to increase in row 8, work row 9 with no increase, then increase in row 10. I'll meet you at the end of row 10. So you need to get the 9 that I've gotten, I'll divide it by 2, which will give me 4.5. So I'm increasing until I get the 4.5. If you've gotten 10, you'll divide it by 2 to get 5. So I'm increasing in row 8, working row 9 with no increase, then increasing in row 10. I'll meet you at the end of row 10. I'm done with the 10 rows, and I need to measure this to see whether it's half of the 9 that I got. So when I measure this without stretching, it gets me to 4. When I give it a bit of a stretch, it will go to 4.5. And that's what I want. Now from this point, we'll start reducing. Now before we start reducing, because this one was an increase row, we're first going to work row 11 with no increase. So chain 1 and turn and place just 1 stitch in every stitch. This will be our row 11. Now chain 1 and turn to begin row 12. We're going to start decreasing in row 12. So we'll decrease in row 12, skip row 13, decrease in row 14, like that, going on. So now to decrease, we begin in the first stitch. Put your hook into that stitch without yarning over and grab a loop, like you're doing a single crochet, but do not complete the single crochet. Then yarn over, go into the next stitch, yarn over and grab a loop. Have 4 loops on your hook. So yarn over and pull through all the 4. And we've reduced, we have combined these 2 stitches into 1. Now work 1 half double crochet into every stitch until you have 2 stitches remaining in row 12. Here are my last 2 stitches, and we're going to combine them into 1. So we begin by yarning over, put your hook into the second last stitch and grab a loop. Then without yarning over, go into the last stitch and grab a loop to get the 4 loops. Then yarn over, pull through all the 4. Chain 1 and turn to begin row 13. In row 13, we work without decreasing. So just 1 stitch into every stitch. So this is my last stitch, and at the end of row 13 I have 12 stitches. Chain 1 and turn to begin row 14. We begin with a decrease in row 14, so your hook into that first stitch, grab a loop, yarn over, put the hook into the second, yarn over, grab a loop, yarn over, pull through 4. Then work 1 half double crochet into every stitch till you have 2 stitches remaining. These are my 2 stitches, this one and this one right here. So we combine them, yarn over, grab a loop, put your hook into the last stitch and get a loop, then yarn over, pull through the 4 loops. Chain 1 and turn to begin row 15. We work row 15 without a reduction, so 1 stitch into every stitch. I have 10 stitches at the end of row 15. Chain 1 and turn to begin row 16. Row 16 is a reduction row, so chain 1 and turn. Row 17, we work with no reduction, 1 stitch into every stitch. Chain 1 and turn to begin row 18. Row 18, we begin with a reduction and end with a reduction. Chain 1 to begin and turn to begin row 19 and work row 19 without a reduction. At the end of row 19, I'll have 6 stitches. Chain 1 and turn to begin row 20, and row 20 is a reduction row, which will take me to 4 stitches. When you get to the number of stitches that you began with, that is your last row. So now this is my last row because it will give me 4 stitches. So reduce in the first and the second stitch, work in the next 2 stitches, that's 3 stitches, then reduce in the last, and that will give me a total of 4 stitches. Then chain 1, and at that point we are done with the cap. Now if you measure this while stretching, it should give you a quarter of your bust measurement. So mine without stretching is around 7.8. If I stretch, it gets me to 9. You don't want to stretch it too much, because if you do, it will leave gaps or it will be too tight. So don't stretch out your work too much. Now once we're done with the cap, we're going to work something on top and at the bottom. We start with the top part. I've already chained 1, and after chaining 1, I'm going to work on the rows from this point all the way to this corner. Now I've already chained 1, so I'll start in the first row. In this very first row, I'll place 1 half double crochet. Then in the second row, place 2 half double crochets, 1 and 2. In the third row, place 1 half double crochet. In the fourth row, 2 half double crochets, 1 half double crochet into the fifth row, 2 half double crochets into the sixth, 1 half double crochet into the seventh, 2 half double crochets into the eighth, and alternate like this to the end. So my very last row is supposed to get 2 half double crochets, but I'll just place 1 at the corner, right there. Then we're going to chain 1 and turn. And now we're going to work 3 more rows at this point. So I'll work a second row, a third, and a fourth. Just one. Sorry, this second row is going to start with a reduction. So put your hook into the first stitch, yarn over and grab a loop, yarn over, go into the second stitch and complete the reduction, then you reduce at the end. All the other stitches will get 1 half double crochet. So with 2 stitches remaining, I'm going to reduce right there. Chain 1 and turn to begin row 3. So we're going to work row 3 with no reduction, then row 4 with a reduction. I'll meet you at the end of row 4. I'm done with the 4 rows and I'm going to chain 1 and cut off the yarn at that point. Pull through and fasten like that. Sometimes I like to weave in my ends as I go, so I'm going to weave this one in. So just going to put the tapestry needle through the stitches, in between the stitches, that is. And then I'll weave in this other one. Then cut whatever remains. So now this is going to be the upper part of the cap. Now we're going to work on the lower part. So turn your work like this and begin on the rows at the bottom part. So we're going to reconnect the yarn on this first row right here. You're going to grab a loop right here. Grab a loop of the yarn and chain 1. So begin in that very first row and place 1 half double crochet. Into the second row, place 1 double crochet, 1 half double crochet, that is. Then we're going to just place 1 half double crochet into each row. So my rows were 20, and that means I should have a total of 20 stitches. If you have 24 rows or 20, whatever number you have, make sure that the number of stitches that you're going to have will be. So I'm in the last row and I'll place my last half double crochet right there. So let me just show you what we are doing. Now at this point we are in this, it's not really visible, we are in this row at the bottom, and I did a total of 14 rows to get me to this point. Now if you want your top longer, you might need to do a few more rows, but I want mine to this length, so I'll do 14 rows at the bottom part of the cap. I've already done the first row, so I have 13 more to go. And in this part we just work in 1 half double crochet into every stitch. So chain 1 and turn and just place 1 half double crochet in every stitch, just 1 in all the rows, no increase, no reduction. So I'll go on, work the 14 rows, then come back and we shall continue from there. I'm done with the 14 rows, and so I'm going to chain 1 and turn to begin row 15. Chain 1, turn. So I'm working row 15 from this end. I'll get the other cap or the other part, and I'll have it side by side with this one. Now, as you can see, for this one, I did a reduction at the end of row 15. Now for the next one, I work a reduction at the beginning. So you want to have the reductions on opposite sides. That means if this slant is on this side for this cap, the other slant should be on the other side. So that means when you're working this part, if you reduce at the beginning, when you're working the other part, you'll start the reduction at the end of row 15. So now, right now, I'll start at the beginning because I already have the reduction on the opposite side in the other part of the top. Because when you place them like this, you want to ensure that the slant for the lighter shade is on this side and not on this other side. Now, if that does not make sense, you can reduce at the beginning for both of them, but then we're going to turn such that one will be on the right side, the other one will be on the wrong side. So now we begin row 15 with a reduction by putting your hook in the first stitch and grab a loop. Then yarn over, put the hook into the second stitch and grab a loop, yarn over, pull through 4. And then I'm going to mark this side so that I remember that I'm reducing on this side and not the other side. I'll be reducing at the beginning of when I'm coming from this side and when I'm coming to the end. So all the other stitches to the end will get 1/2 double crochet. So this side remains straight, this one slants. So 1/2 double crochet into every stitch in row 15. Chain 1 and turn to begin row 16. We begin in the first stitch by placing 1/2 double crochet, and then we're going to place a 1/2 double crochet into all the stitches until we have 2 stitches remaining. So once you have the 2 stitches, you're going to reduce. Chain 1, turn to begin row. This is row. This was 14, 15, 16. So row 17, we begin by a reduction. So we reduce in row 17 at the beginning and at the end of row 18. All the other stitches in row 17 are just getting 1 stitch. So remember to reduce as you start and as you come back to this side. Now I did the reduction for a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I'm going to do 14 more stitches. So that means in total I'll have 14 plus 14, which is 28 rows. Right now I'm in row 17. So I'll do a reduction in each row on this one side till I get to row 28. I'm done with the 16 rows, and at the end I'll just chain 1 and cut off the yarn. So once you're done with one part, you'll need to do another one, but we're not done with this one yet. We're going to do the side part, this part that goes to your back and covers your rib cage. And to do that, we're going to start from the top right here, and then we're going to do stitches up to where the stitch marker is. So I'm going to attach my yarn from the top in the top row right here, and chain 1. Then into that row I'll place 1/2 double crochet, into the next row 1/2 double crochet, 1/2 double crochet into the row that follows, into the next one, for a total of 4. We are done 4 rows. Then that's going to get me to the stitches. I'll place 1/2 double crochet into each of the stitches, then we're going to get to the rows, and each of the rows is also going to get just 1/2 double crochet. So I'll have the last stitch in that row that had the stitch marker. Then chain 1 and turn. Now to work this part, you need to get the length below your bust, the length all around that part below, immediately below your bust, and divide it by 4. So for me, this is, mine is 30 by 4 is around 4 point something, so I worked a length of 4, and that is a total of, let me see how many rows I did. 1 2 3 4 5 6 and 7. So I'm going to do a total of 14 rows before I can do before doing the gaps that where we're going to have the straps. I'll first do, it's actually 13. I'll do 13 rows. Now that I'm done with row 1, I'll chain 1 and turn. I've already chained 1, and then I'll just work 1/2 double crochet into every stitch for a total of 13. This is row 2, so I'll do row 2 up to row 4, up to row 13. Then I'll come back and show you how to create the gaps where we're going to have the strap. This is after the 13 rows, and I'm ready to do the edging where we're going to create the gaps for the straps. So begin by chaining 1 and turn. Do a single crochet in the first stitch, a single crochet into the second stitch, chain 2, skip 2, in the third stitch do a single crochet and another single crochet. Next, then chain 2, skip 2 stitches, 1 single crochet and another one, then chain 2, skip, single crochet and another one, chain 2, skip 2, then do a single crochet and another single crochet, chain 2, skip 2, single crochet and single crochet. Then at the end we have 2 stitches remaining. If you have 2 stitches to skip, then you're just going to skip them and do the single crochet. Now I do not have the 2 stitches to skip, so I'm just going to chain 2, but then I'll skip 1 and do the last single crochet in the last stitch. Chain 1 and turn. Begin with a single crochet in that first stitch, then 2 single crochets in the chain gap, then a single crochet on top of each of the single crochets, 2 single crochets in the chain 2 gap, a single crochet, and repeat to the end. So basically each of the stitches will get 1 single crochet. chain 1 and cut off the yarn, pull through, then fasten. And this side, this piece is done. So this folds like this to the back part, and then we have the other one right here. We place them side by side, then we're going to join at the middle like that. Now what I'll do, I'll just get stitch markers and pin these two pieces together. This is the right side. I'm going to place them on the sides that I feel are my wrong sides, like this. Then I'm going to use stitch markers and just pin the corresponding ends together. So the first stitch on top and the other one at the top on the other side. So the reason why I use stitch markers is to ensure that my work is well aligned. So at the end of the cap and at the end of the cap on the other side. So once you pin your work like that, you're going to get the tapestry needle, put some yarn into it, and then we're going to sew to join this part. So beginning from the top, I'll put a knot right there. Like I say, how you sew is completely up to you, as long as you join the two parts correctly. So just keep going to the bottom. So once you get to the end, you're going to create a knot, and then after that weave the tail or the end that remains. I'm then going to weave in these other ends. So this is after weaving in all the ends. This is the wrong side and this is the right side of my top. Now it folds. Oh, there's one end that's remaining. I'm going to weave it in. So this is the back part. It stretches, so it will actually stretch. You should leave an allowance at the back for strapping, because for the stretch, because if you work the stitches too close to the middle, then the top will not fit perfectly. So there should be an allowance for the stretch when you're working this back part of your top. Now we're going to do a row of single crochets on the top part, and then after that we're going to do the straps. We begin from this end, and because we're using the navy blue, I'll get the navy blue yarn. So from this row, the single crochet row, the last single crochet row that we did there, I've reattached the yarn and chain one, then go into that row with a single crochet into the next row, and we're just going to place one single crochet into each of the rows. So this gets us to the stitches, to the half double crochet stitches, and each of the stitches will get one single crochet. Once you get to the last stitch, do your single crochet, chain one, and cut the yarn at that point. Pull through. Then you're going to grab the other shade, and we're going to reattach it on top of this last single crochet that we've done. So put it through. We're not chaining one, so you're just pulling it through and then going straight to the stitch below and do a single crochet. Like that. Then you do a single crochet into all the stitches. So a single crochet into all the stitches and all the rows till you get to this corner. I'm working over there, the end. This other end, I left it because I'll weave it in on the other side. Chain one and cut off the yarn. Now we attach the strap. I'll show you how to attach strap on this side because it's easier to see. Now you're going to determine this middle part and mark it. Mark that stitch in the middle. Then you're going to count 5 stitches from the stitch marker. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Then from the 5th, you're going to count 4 more. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and put your hook there. Then you're going to grab your yarn and put it through. And chain one. Then go back into that stitch with a half double crochet while working over the end, and you're going to do 4 half double crochets into the next 4 stitches. So that is 1, 2, 3, and 4. Then chain 1 and turn. Do row 2 with 4 half double crochets. Chain 1 and turn to begin row 3. Then do 4 half double crochets in row 3. So I want to do a strap of length 14 inches when stretched, and I'm going to do a total of 34 rows. Chain 1 and turn. This is row 4, and we're just going to do 4 stitches in each of the rows. So let me do my 34 rows, then I'll be back. So this is after the 34 rows, and you can measure that to make sure that you've gotten the length of the strap that you want, or you can try it on and make sure that it fits. So this without stretching is at around 12. When I stretch it, it will get me to 14. It can actually extend to 15, which I'm okay with, but if you feel this is too long, you can do 32 or 30 rows, whatever works for you. If it is too short, you can go up to 36 or even 40, depending on the size of your strap. Now I'm going to chain 1, and then I leave an end that is not too long but also not too short, because I'm going to use it to join the strap on the other side. So pull through like this, then you can hold your work like this and bring this back part this way. Then you want to count 5 stitches from the stitch marker. So I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then the strap goes after the 5th chain like that. So you're counting 5 and then counting 4 after the stitch marker. So put your hook through in the tapestry needle, put the yarn through, then we're counting 1, 2, 3, and 4 into the 4th one. You need to make sure that you're attaching from the wrong side. I'm attaching from the right side, so I'll just turn this to the wrong side. So that means make sure that your strap is not twisted. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Right there. Then through this first stitch, go back into that stitch. Go into the second stitch and the next one, join them together, then into the 3rd and into the 4th one, like that. Your strap is attached, so you're going to do a knot at that point. Then weave in this end that remains. Cut off whatever remains, and that first strap is attached. You can turn it to the right side, and this is what you're going to have, like that. I'll weave in the other ends. Now when we come to this other side, we're still going to do the same thing. Mark this middle part, then now this side is a bit easier because you're just going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 into the 6th stitch. You put your hook through, and then you're going to reconnect the yarn and then do the strap the same length as the other one. I have my 2 straps in place. When I fold this is what you're going to have. Now this is the back part of the top, and this is the front part. So now next we're going to do a strap that we're going to attach at the back of the top, this part right here, and I'm going to use the 2 shades. I'll double up the strap, one lighter shade of one of the light blue and one of the navy blue. I'll put them together and chain, make a chain that is 250 chains. So I'll start with a slip knot, then just chain. I have my strap ready, and I'm just going to attach it onto the gaps that we created at the back. So just put the strap through and through on the other side. Crisscross. Once you have the strap in place, just do a knot. Make sure that the knot is very close to the stitches. And do another knot on the other side. Then you can cut these ends. Cut them off. So now we are done with the top. If you've enjoyed the tutorial, kindly leave a like. Don't forget to comment, subscribe if you're not subscribed, and share the tutorial with your friends. See you in the next tutorial.